Imagine, you come home to your beloved wife, and she throws a smile on your face. I'm cheating on you, and you won't leave me anyway. That's how my revenge began. Emily, a 32-year-old career woman from Seattle, thought she had me in her pocket. But I turned the tables. She lost everything. Her money, her home, her lover. This is a story of betrayal, cunning, and the sweet taste of justice. Seattle, a rainy Thursday night in March 2025. Nick Carter, a 35-year-old software engineer, steps through the door of his sleek downtown apartment, shaking off the drizzle from his jacket. The smell of takeout lingers in the air. He'd grabbed Thai food on the way home, hoping for a quiet evening with his wife, Emily. At 32, she's a rising star in marketing, sharp-witted and ambitious, with a smile that could charm anyone. They've been married 3 years, and Nick's always thought they were solid. But tonight, solid turns to sand. He sets the food on the counter and calls out, "Em, I'm home." She's in the living room, perched on the couch with a glass of Pinot Noir, scrolling her phone. She doesn't look up right away, just swirls the wine like it's some kind of victory lap. "Hey, babe," she says finally, her tone casual, almost bored. Nick grabs a beer from the fridge and joins her, dropping into the armchair across from her. "Long day?" he asks, cracking the can open. She smirks, setting her phone down. "Not really. Oh, by the way, I've been sleeping with someone else." The words hit like a sucker punch, blunt and careless, like she's telling him she forgot to pick up milk. Nick freezes, the beer halfway to his lips. "You're kidding," he manages, voice tight. Emily laughs, a sharp, mocking sound that echoes off the high ceilings. "Don't look so shocked, Nick. You're not that clueless, are you?" He sets the can down slowly, hand steady despite the storm brewing inside. "You're serious?" he asks, searching her face. No tears, no guilt, just that smug little grin she gets when she thinks she's won. "Dead serious," she says, sipping her wine. "Been going on for months." "Late nights at the office?" "Yeah, not exactly." Nick's mind races. Her silent phone, the sudden work trips, the way she'd pull away when he reached for her in bed. He'd suspected something, sure, but hearing it like this, so cold and shameless, is a different beast. "Why tell me now?" he asks, keeping his tone even. She shrugs, leaning back like she owns the damn world. "Why lie? I don't need to. You're not going anywhere, babe. Let's be real. You'd still pay my bills even if you walked out. Alimony's a lock." Her words twist the knife deeper. She's not just confessing. She's taunting him, betting on his weakness. "You think I'm apathetic?" he says, low and dangerous. Emily's grin widens. "I think you're predictable. You'll rant, you'll sulk, but you'll stay. And I'll keep living my life." Nick leans back, studying her. The woman he'd built a life with, now a stranger gloating over her betrayal. He should explode, scream, demand answers. But something clicks. Rage simmers. Yes, but beneath it, a plan sparks. "Okay," he says, voice calm, almost too calm. "If that's how you feel." Emily blinks, thrown off by his lack of fireworks. "What? No tantrum," she teases. He just nods, standing to grab his food. "Enjoy your wine, Em." As he walks to the kitchen, her laughter follows him. She thinks she's untouchable, that she's got him pinned. What she doesn't know, what she can't see, is the moment Nick decides she'll regret every word. This isn't surrender. It's the first move in a game she doesn't even know she's playing. The next morning, Nick wakes up to the sound of rain tapping the apartment windows. Emily's already gone, probably off to her lover's place, he figures. He sits at the kitchen counter, coffee in hand, replaying her confession. Her smugness, her certainty that he's too spineless to fight back. It's fuel. She thinks she's got him trapped, but Nick's not the type to roll over. He's an engineer. Problems get solved, not cried over. And Emily? She's just handed him the blueprint to her own downfall. He starts small, playing the part she expects. Over breakfast the next day, she's back, acting like nothing's changed. He keeps it light. "You're right, Em," he says, poking at his eggs. "I don't want to fight. Do what makes you happy." Her eyebrows lift, surprised but pleased. "Wow, you're actually being mature about this," she says, sipping her coffee. "Most guys would freak." Nick forces a weak smile. "Guess I'm not most guys." She buys it hook, line, and sinker. His calm surrender is her green light to push further. That afternoon, he calls his lawyer, Sarah, a shark in a pantsuit who's handled tech divorces for Seattle's elite. She's cheating, admitted it, and thinks she's getting alimony. Nick explains over the phone. Sarah's voice crackles with glee. Oh, we can work with this. First, we tank your income, make her the breadwinner on paper. Then we load her up with debt she can't dodge. Nick nods, gears turning. She's cocky. She won't see it coming. Step 1, his job. Nick's been pulling 6 figures at a tech firm, but he's got a side gig, consulting, low pay but flexible. He tells his boss he's burned out, takes a leave, and shifts to the gig full-time. His income plummets to peanuts, all documented. Emily doesn't notice. She's too busy texting her mystery man. Step 2, the bills. That night, he catches her on the couch, wine in hand again. Hey, you're doing so well at work. Maybe you should take over some stuff? Rent? Utilities? I'm cutting back hours. She perks up, ego stroked. Sure, I can handle it. You're sweet to trust me. She signs the transfers without a second glance, thinking she's winning. Over the next week, Nick nudges her deeper into the trap. You're so independent, he says casually, watching her preen. Maybe get your own credit card for your trips? I'd hate to hold you back. She grins, oblivious, and applies for one, maxes it out on designer bags and dinners with her lover. Meanwhile, he meets Sarah again. She's taking the bait, he reports. Good, Sarah says, flipping through papers. We'll tie the mortgage to her name next. Refinance it, better rates, her signature. She'll think it's a favor. Nick smirks. She'll sign anything if I play dumb. By week's end, Emily's name's on everything. Rent, utilities, a fat mortgage, while Nick's struggling on his new salary. She struts around, bragging to friends about her freedom, not realizing she's building her own cage. Nick watches, silent, patient. She thinks she's untouchable, but he's rewriting the rules. When the hammer drops, she won't just lose him. She'll lose everything. 2 weeks later, the Seattle skyline glows through the apartment's floor-to-ceiling windows, but Nick barely notices. He's on the couch, scrolling job listings, not for work, just for show. Emily breezes in, heels clicking, dress for a night out. Heading to Tom's, she says, tossing her purse over her shoulder. Nick's met Tom once, a slick startup guy with a Tesla and a penthouse. Have fun, Nick replies, voice flat. She smirks, oh, I will, and struts out. He waits till the door clicks shut, then grabs his phone. Sarah, she's practically living with him, he tells his lawyer. Perfect, Sarah says, her tone sharp. Push her to move out. Voluntary abandonment kills, alimony claims. And those debts. Make sure Tom sees them. Nick leans back, a grin tugging at his lips. On it. That night, he plants the seed. Emily's back for clothes, humming as she packs. You're at Tom's so much, Nick says casually, leaning on the doorframe. Why not just stay there? I'm cool with it, gives you space. She pauses, eyeing him. You're serious? He shrugs. Why not? You're happier there. Her eyes light up. Freedom without a fight. You're too good to me, she says, smirking, and hauls a suitcase out. Over the next few days, she's gone more than she's home, leaving Nick to struggle with his low pay. He keeps the act up, sighs about bills, lets her rescue him by taking on more. She's smug, thinking she's got the upper hand. But Nick's got a curveball ready. He digs into Tom's life. LinkedIn, ex-posts, a buddy in tech who owes him a favor. Tom's a player, flashy but paranoid about money. Nick crafts an anonymous email. Your girl's drowning in debt. Mortgage, cards, all hers. Check her credit. He attaches screenshots, real ones, from the refinance and her spending spree. Sent. Then he waits. 2 days later, Emily storms in, face red, eyes wild. Tom flipped out, she snaps, pacing. He got some email. Says I'm broke, kicked me out. What the hell, Nick? He plays dumb, brow furrowed. Broke? That's crazy. Maybe it's a mix-up. She glares, clutching her phone. He thinks I lied. He won't even talk to me. Nick hides a smirk. That sucks him. You okay? She groans, no. I need you to fix this. Tell him it's not true. He leans in, voice soft. Why would I? You picked him. Figure it out. Her jaw drops. She's not used to him pushing back. You're my husband, she yells. Act like it. He shrugs. You stopped acting like my wife first. She storms out, suitcase banging the wall. Nick watches her go, heart pounding with cold satisfaction. Tom's out. Emily's spiraling, and the debts are hers alone. She's got no anchor now, no lover, no leverage. Nick's plan isn't just working. It's accelerating. She thinks she can still claw her way back, but he's already 3 steps ahead, ready to drop the final blow. April 2025, a gray morning in Seattle. Nick adjusts his tie in the courthouse bathroom mirror, nerves steady as steel. Today's the day, divorce court. Emily's been scrambling since Tom dumped her, crashing at a friend's place, texting Nick pleas he's ignored. She still thinks she's got a shot at alimony, that she can guilt-trip a judge into saving her. Nick knows better. Sarah, his lawyer, meets him outside the courtroom, a stack of files under her arm. She's toast, Sarah whispers. You ready? He nods. Let's bury her. Inside, Emily sits across the aisle, dressed sharp but looking frayed. Dark circles under her eyes, nails bitten down. She glares at Nick, mouthing, You'll regret this. He stares back, blank-faced, giving her nothing. The judge, a stern woman with gray streaks in her hair, bangs the gavel. Carter versus Carter. Let's begin. Sarah stands first, voice crisp. Your Honor, my client seeks a clean dissolution. No alimony. Mrs. Carter's financially independent, higher earner, primary debtor, and she vacated the marital home voluntarily. Emily's lawyer, a sweaty guy in a cheap suit, jumps up. Objection. She was coerced. Emotional distress forced her out. The judge raises an eyebrow. Evidence. Sarah slides over a thick packet. Bank records, pay stubs, lease transfers, all in her name. She signed willingly. And this, she holds up a photo of Emily's suitcase, time-stamped. She moved out March 15th, unprompted. Emily's face pales as the judge schemes the files. Nick watches her squirm, savoring it. Mrs. Carter, the judge says, your income exceeds your husband's. You assume the mortgage, utilities, credit debt. Explain why you're entitled to support. Emily stammers. He tricked me. I didn't know what I was signing. Sarah pounces. She's a marketing exec, Your Honor. She read every document. Here's her signature, notarized. The judge frowns. Ignorance isn't a defense, Mrs. Carter. Emily's lawyer tries again. He manipulated her into this. She deserves compensation. Nick leans forward, speaking for the first time. She admitted to cheating, Your Honor. Said I'd pay her anyway. I didn't. Gasps ripple through the gallery. Friends, co-workers, a few nosy strangers. Emily's head snaps to him, eyes blazing. You bastard, she hisses. The judge bangs the gavel. Order. Mrs. Carter, control yourself. Sarah seals it. She abandoned the marriage, took on debt willingly, and out-earns him. No alimony applies. The judge nods, flipping pages. Based on the evidence, Mrs. Carter, you're not eligible for support. Debt remains yours. Marriage dissolved. She bangs the gavel again. Emily slumps, hands trembling as she clutches the table. Nick stands, adjusts his jacket, and walks out without a glance back. She's screaming inside. He can feel it, but he's free. The trap sprung, and she's caught broke and alone. Victory tastes like rain on his tongue as he steps into the wet Seattle air. June 2025, Seattle's summer sun cuts through the morning haze. Nick leans back in his office chair, staring out at the Puget Sound from his newly reclaimed corner suite. He's back at his old tech firm. 6 figures reinstated, a promotion in the bag. The apartment is alone now, mortgage paid off with Emily's name scrubbed from every document. Life's good, quiet, and drama-free. His phone buzzes occasionally, friends checking in, a date lined up for Friday. Emily's a ghost he's left behind. Or so he thinks. Across town, Emily's world is a dumpster fire. She's holed up in a cramped studio near I-5, the roar of traffic shaking the thin walls. Tom's long gone, blocked her after she tried begging him back. Her credit's shot, maxed out cards, and a foreclosure notice haunt her mailbox. Friends ditched her when the money dried up. Turns out loyalty's pricey. She's scraping by on freelance gigs, a far cry from her marketing exec days. Nick hears whispers through mutuals. She's a mess, they say. Keeps asking about you. He doesn't bite. One evening, his phone lights up. An unknown number. Nick, it's me. Can we talk? I miss you. Emily's voice, thin and desperate, crackles through a voicemail. He listens, thumb hovering over delete. I messed up, okay? I'm sorry. Maybe coffee. Her tone's a shadow of the cocky woman who'd laughed in his face. Nick smirks, blocks the number, and tosses the phone aside. She's fishing for a lifeline, but he's not her savior. Not anymore. Weeks later, A coworker spills tea over lunch. Saw Emily downtown, looked rough. Heard she tried crashing at her sister's, but they fought, and she's out again. Nick shrugs, spearing a fry. Her problem. The guy grins. Cold, man. But damn, you played her good. Nick nods, letting a rare smile slip. She played herself. I just handed her the cards. Karma's a slow burn, and Emily's feeling every flame. By fall, Nick's thriving. New car, savings rebuilt, a trip to Hawaii booked. Emily's a footnote, a cautionary tale traded over beers. Then, one last ping, a text from another burner. I still love you. Please. He reads it, laughs, a short, dry sound, and deletes it without reply. She'd bet on breaking him, thought he'd fold under her betrayal. Instead, she's the one shattered, clinging to a past he's torched. Nick steps onto his balcony, beer in hand, the city sprawling below. Emily's out there somewhere, drowning in the wreckage she built. He doesn't care where. She'd gambled on greed, mocked his trust, and lost it all. Lover, status, stability. He's not just free, he's won. The rain stopped, the sky's clear, and Nick breathes deep. This is what justice feels like, cold, clean, and final.